Key point 1. You have to work hard to be happy. Happiness is something we all strive for. We attach different meanings to it. For some, happiness is a successful career. For others, it is a large family with strong relationships. It may even be an opportunity to travel. We talk about happiness in the future tense. I will be happy when I buy an expensive car, or go on a trip around the world, or move to live by the sea. Sometimes we can't even say exactly what makes us happy. However, we agree that contentment is an unattainable dream, something far away that may come to us one fine day. We live in anticipation of pleasure. The how of happiness opens an entirely different understanding of joy and satisfaction. It shows that we can learn to be delighted. You are the only one who can give yourself lasting and stable happiness. Here you will find 12 strategies to become happy and learn to choose the ones that are right for you. You will also know that happiness doesn't depend on the conditions in which you live, and that you can be happy even without a lot of money and all the material things. What do you think is hidden behind the hedonic adaptation? What is the role of genes in our ability to be happy? Why is overthinking destructive? Here you will find answers to these questions. Years of research have proven that happiness can be a habit. You don't have to look for it or wait for it, because it is a consequence of your actions. You are the master of your own fulfilling life. Choose your strategy for achieving happiness and implement it regularly. Key point 2. Genes matter, but do not decide. Some people are happier than others. So what do lucky ones have that others lack? Let's learn the factors that determine the level of happiness. The first factor is our genes and heredity, which defines 50% of our ability to be happy. This aspect is a permanent base from birth, like weight, height, and hair color. We can't influence it and must accept it as a given. Another 10% are the conditions and circumstances in which we were born. Neither our financial nor social status affects our level of happiness. It doesn't matter if we live in a small apartment or a big house, drive a premium class car, or one that has changed a lot of owners. Our place of work and social rank are also irrelevant. They say that you can't buy happiness for a reason. Another 40% remains, and this part depends solely on us. It includes our habits, ways of thinking, perceptions of reality, and actions we take every day. It is excellent news because while there are things we can't control, like our genes, there are also things we can manage. With this, we know our area of influence and can work on creating happy habits. And yes, it is essential to realize that you must work on happiness. This 40% is an opportunity and a responsibility. It means that even if you don't feel satisfied now, you can change it. By regularly practicing happy habits, you can make them automatic. Although it takes time, the result is worth it. If we choose not to act, we leave our happiness potential to chance and luck. Our chances of living a joyful and whole life will increase if we realize that happiness requires effort. The path to happiness can be pleasant and joyful, although it requires consistency and conscious actions. But the thought that we do all this with love and self-care inspires us to move forward. Happiness is not out there for us to find. The reason that it's not out there is that it's inside us. Sonia Lubomirsky. Key point 3. Money and all material things will not bring lasting happiness. Undoubtedly, we have thought more than once that money could make our life more delightful. How happy we would be if we had a bigger house, a more successful job, or that expensive car. Everyone has their list, and it is endless. The truth is that eventually, getting these things will not make us happy in the long run. Hedonic adaptation is to blame for this. Adaptation as a defense mechanism is crucial for our survival. It helps us get used to difficult situations like losing loved ones, illness, sudden loss of work, money, status, etc. Thanks to adaptation, we can continue to live even after natural disasters and wars, search for new meanings, and build a life from scratch. Hedonic adaptation works similarly, but we get used to not bad events, but joyful ones. Happy people put effort into building solid relationships. They enjoy spending time with their loved ones. Let's imagine, for example, that you won a fantastic new car in the lottery. At first, your joy and enthusiasm will soar to heaven. You will be over the moon with happiness. But according to research, this state is short-lived, and you will need to get something more than a car to experience it again. Not only will you return to your usual level of happiness, but you may also lose satisfaction from the simple things that delighted you. A morning cup of coffee or a favorite TV show will no longer please you as before. The good news is that hedonic adaptation doesn't work in the case of enjoying contact with our loved ones. We will never get used to hugs, kisses, and pleasant conversations. It means that even just a short phone conversation with a friend can lift your spirits. The warmth we get from interacting with loved ones reduces stress and helps us cope with difficult situations. That is why it is crucial to share sadness and other complicated feelings. Have fun with friends or family and observe your emotional state afterward. You will feel a little happier. Did you know? Although it is difficult to determine the duration of happiness, scientists have calculated that a happy hug lasts an average of 3 seconds. Key point 4. Too much thinking is harmful. Many factors prevent us from being happy. Pessimism, emphasis on negative experiences, feelings, and emotions, inability to appreciate the moment, and many others. Most of them involve the habit of overthinking. It is rather insidious because we are used to believing that thinking is helpful. When we are in school and don't know the answer to a question or answer incorrectly, the teacher asks us to think again. When faced with a problematic situation in adulthood, we naturally think about it and actively look for a way out. Sometimes we think so much that we don't notice the trap. Thoughts take strength, oppress, and don't produce results because we cannot stop at the right moment. In the end, we drive ourselves to a dead end. For example, when trying to figure out why there are so few happy moments in our lives, we may not notice that we would be much happier if we just stopped thinking about it. Sounds intriguing. Happy people don't pay attention to how others live. We also hurt ourselves when we compare ourselves to others. This process is similar to overthinking. However, in this case, we do not suppose why we are unhappy, but focus, for example, on why our colleague is much more optimistic than we are. We compare our financial capabilities, talents, and even appearance. In the end, we get nothing but self-doubt and frustration. Sometimes it's better not to think. There are different ways to do it. We can be distracted by hobbies to devote this time to communicating with loved ones, playing sports, and meditating. The main task is to switch the mind and make it pay attention to other things. And this is a challenging task. We will return to obsessive thoughts more than once. The job is to learn to distract ourselves and bring us back to where we need to be every time. It's about staying in the present moment. Do not fantasize about the future or dwell on the past, but be here and now. This process is genuinely meditative because we return our attention to ourselves and don't allow thoughts to control our moods, feelings, and life. Key point 5. We don't have to discover happiness. We have to create it. There are 12 different ways to become happier. They aim to teach us to focus on and multiply positive feelings. We can achieve this by avoiding or stopping things that can spoil our mood and emotional state, such as mental chewing gum. We can divide strategies for attaining happiness into 6 groups. Those related to internal emotions and experiences include raising optimism and gratitude. They teach us to concentrate on the good in our life. For example, to give thanks for health, a sunny day, and the opportunity to drink delicious coffee in the morning. Those connected with social interaction allow us to be inspired by close contact with other people and enjoy support. They motivate us to have a joyful time with friends or family or meet new people. Those that teach how to adapt to tense or anxious experiences are stress management strategies, including forgiveness, letting go, and coping with difficult situations. Although we can't eliminate negativity in our lives, we can learn to deal with it better and return to a happy life thanks to these methods. Those that train us to enjoy life teach us to notice and appreciate simple things like delicious food, a beautiful view outside the window, and a good friend next to us. We can do it right now. Let's put down our gadgets and look around. We will find something good and pleasant if we focus our attention. Those that help us to achieve involve clearly understanding our values and forming life goals based on them. Those that guide us to take care of ourselves include a mindful attitude to both body and soul. We can do this through meditation, exercise, or even prayer. Happy people do not deal with difficult situations alone. They share their problems with others. Each of these strategies strengthens our self-belief, self-esteem, and worth. Of course, it is necessary to make efforts to get a long-lasting effect. For example, keep a gratitude journal every week, find time for meditation every day, and find a sport that will improve our body, mood, and confidence. We have the opportunity to choose the method that suits us better. Key point 6. How to choose the best strategy. The good news is that we can only implement some of the 12 strategies to become happy. Trying to implement all 12 at once can lead to frustration and inaction, so we can choose several that suit the most. Sometimes we believe that there is an easy way to feel content. We have to wait, and happiness will find us. In reality, we are only wasting precious time. This false thought doesn't bring us closer to a happy life, but takes us further away. There is no magic pill to become happier. Some strategies can make our lives full and bright. How to understand which methods are suitable for you? We can do it in several ways. 1. Determine what upsets you and takes away your strength. If, for example, you dwell on the offense, then the forgiveness strategy will work. Perhaps you may need more support from others and warm communication. In this case, choose a method that trains kindness and effective social interaction. 2. Identify your talents and strengths. You may be a creative person who likes to draw or write. Then a strategy of gratitude that you can express through your creativity may be right for you. Suppose you have a talent for producing new ideas and know how to see hidden opportunities. In that case, avoiding overthinking, Taking time to rest and distracting yourself from thought processes will suit you. 3. Focus on your lifestyle. If, for example, you have a successful career but need more warm communication with people, choose the strategy of social interaction. If, on the contrary, you are not enjoying your work, try a goal-setting method or a flow strategy. The latter means total immersion in a particular activity when time doesn't matter. You can gain this experience by learning something new and practicing meditation techniques, such as focusing on a specific object or breathing. Remember, happiness is a choice you make. First, you must learn more about yourself and understand your aspirations, strengths, and weaknesses. Next, choose a strategy and consistently implement it. It is never too late to be what you might have been. Sonia Lubomirsky. Key point 7. What is the secret to long-term happiness? The most important question is whether these strategies can make us happy long-term or for life. After all, if they have only a temporary effect, is it worth making so much effort? It's worth it. The fact is that each of the strategies can change our way of thinking and perception of reality. Imagine you chose to practice kindness and do any kind deed every week, for instance, delivering a basket to an old neighbor or giving up your seat on the subway to a stranger. In the end, you will get a return. Someone will smile, say words of gratitude, and maybe you will even meet someone who will become a part of your life. The options are endless. Happiness strategies change our focus and pump various essential skills, from the intellectual to the ability to interact with others. The need to make an effort is a crucial component of the longevity of the effect of happiness strategies. Contentment is the reward for our actions. We need to give our time and attention to make techniques work. The effort helps to realize value. Happiness strategies have a long-lasting effect because the source of pleasure is ourselves, not external objects. We do not need additional incentives, such as a glass of wine or a piece of cake, because we rely on our internal resources, which we replenish through happiness strategies. We must also remember that we always have a choice. We don't have to use one strategy all our lives. If you are tired of using the technique of increasing optimism, feel free to choose another. There are no strict guidelines. We are constantly transforming, and therefore our strategies are changing with us. If earlier the approach of achieving your goals suits you, then now you are at a stage when you need peace and inner balance. Hence, you can move on to meditations. It all depends on you and your needs. Strategies will bring the best result if they correspond to your aspirations and the internal state that exists at the moment. Conclusion. Often we look for happiness in the wrong places. It is tough to believe that money will not bring long-term happiness. In striving to have a life filled with pleasure and joy here and now, we ignore ways that, although they require more effort and time, have a long-lasting effect. Implementation of happiness strategies is fulfilling work. We not only pump up our feelings of joy, pleasure, and fulfillment, but also improve our health, work efficiency, and vital forces. In addition, we strengthen our relationships with others. We become better partners by learning to interact more effectively in society. By taking care of our happiness, we contribute to the delight of our loved ones and community. If we take responsibility for our pleasure, the whole world will be happier. It's important to understand that being happy does not imply never feeling negative emotions. We all feel sad and disappointed from time to time. But happiness strategies help to experience positive emotional states more often and feel the fullness of life. Try this. 1. Create a gratitude journal. Choose one day of the week to write down what you are grateful for. It will help you notice the beauty in your life and give you energy and inspiration. 2. Try to exercise. Choose a time convenient for you. Pay attention to your emotional state after a week of regular exercise. 3. Write a letter to someone who once offended you. Express your pain and all the difficult experiences in it. You don't need to send a letter. Its purpose is to let go of resentment and forgive.